Hey YouTube, what's going on everybody? Um, I definitely wanted to readdress everything that's been happening as of late. Some of y'all seen some of my updated information from trying to stop Justice League, uh, trying to keep Young Justice alive, trying to keep the Green Lantern alive. At this point, based on the two reviews that IGN even permitted, IGN gave actually the finale, the Green Lantern, a 9.3, saying this is one of its most emotional, impactful episodes, and it leaves us completely wanting more, essentially. And it's the same thing for Justice League. It got a 8.5, which is not as good as normal, but from the standpoint, reason why they gave it such a low score is they put a huge cliffhanger at the end of the episode, but yet the show is not coming back. Um, I've heard theories from different people that they're gonna actually probably make sub movies, and I think even some people stated that they're actually gonna make sub movies for Young Justice, but they haven't confirmed anything about Green Lantern. What's concerning for me, which I found today, which I talked about a little bit maybe 2 weeks ago, three different things. One is for today. There's been a promo that's come out for, which I'm pretty sure y'all have seen. It's called Teen Titans Go. And as soon as I looked at it, and I heard all the famous voices from the epic series, which was Teen Titans, and I look and I see they're dumbed down to look like, uh, can I say, Powerpuff Girl characters? Like even from the voice of the narrator, even from the way that they, it was kind of this kind of goofy kind of look, and I was like, Cartoon Network has watered down something that was great. Instead of just bring, if you really wanted to bring Teen Titans back, just bring it back from the old animational form and put a little more edge to it. And then, which I actually talked about maybe 2 weeks ago, they actually are now saying that they want to bring people more in from the demographic of like with the Powerpuff Girls. So they're actually going to bring uh, the Powerpuff Girls back. So you have the Powerpuff Girls, and if any of y'all seen it promo, put the link down at the bottom so you can see for yourself, and you tell me how you really feel about it for Teen Titans Go. And then you got the Batman. Beware the Batman. Now, with this, the CG looks on point from the degree it looks comparable to Green Lantern, but you take away all the villains, you take away every single story that we're familiar with, and you completely water down the mythology of a character that is so great that I don't see how. Even when I think about the Brave and the Bold, um, like that, it was for kids, but it was appealing because it kept to the mythology, kept all the main characters. Like, why would you do such a thing? It's like they're literally trying to burn DC out, even though they put a specific block for DC Nation. I don't understand it, y'all. Like honestly, I even thought about the fact that they could potentially use Toonami. Now, for a fact, think about. I'm not sure if any of y'all have looked at the Thundercats 2011 version. What they did, they actually made a block for Thundercats during the Toonami after midnight. They actually have a block around 1:30 for the Thundercats. This is an ongoing run. So permit it if people actually like it and they start looking at it, they can continue the series off of Toonami. If they honestly really wanted to, I looked at the listing. They've got Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha actually playing, which are great shows, but they have two episodes back to back. Now it's a little late, but honestly, if they really could or should, in my opinion, based on what DC needs to be doing, and trying to get Cartoon Network to actually fuel the fire versus like burn it completely out, is honestly put either Green Lantern, Teen Titans, Justice League, anything up there for part of the Toonami block, so they can be able to make a spread to have their own DC Nation block run in between around the time frames of maybe 10:30 all the way to midnight and then extend it that way. Now, a lot of us, like I've seen a lot of different comments from my previous video, a lot of y'all are saying that we really need to actually do with the advertisements, the merchandising, um, so we can actually, which is very true. Like merchandising is everything. It impacts the way that the market flow runs, and based on how many toys that people pick up supposedly that is gonna make the impact. Now, if you think about it like this though, now Hello Kitty or like little things that girls like, as far as like symbols like Barbie and whatnot. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have yet to see go to Walmart and see like a Powerpuff Girl toy. um, I, it for them to bring it back, it's another ulterior motive. It's not just about the merchandising. Even when I think about like with the Teen Titans, now the way this looks, and you sit there and you have a toy and you shape and mold a toy for something like this, and for a kid to look at it, it's almost like, okay, you had something like this before, and then now you're making them look really cartoony and weird. It's I mean, it's almost like you're doing a disservice to the children, because I don't even see how the toys are gonna look funny looking, and it's just I don't understand. I don't think it's really about the merchandise. I think they have their own perspective on what they want the mode of Cartoon Network to look like. They want it to be, in my opinion, I don't want to say like a whole bunch of nonsense, essentially. That we can't have anything too serious. It can't be too straightforward. It can't have a little bit of education to it. It has to be just all over the place. Can't have any real structure, or else there's no point of having Cartoon Network. But then, I don't know if any of y'all have seen any of these. Each one of these movies, which is made by DC and filtered out straight from the storyline. Now, a lot of these, like I said, it had to be put on Toonami because it really is like some stuff is M-rated language and XYZ, and so it's important that the kids don't get fuel from that. But when you think about the old school version of, like, say, I'm not even gonna go on DC, I'm gonna say Marvel. And you think about X-Men, and you think about Iron Man, you think about the old series now, which none of our kids now even know anything about. But I mean, even Spider-Man, 1990s version, it had a lot of different things that happened, a lot of violence, um, but for the most part, like it taught you something about a real hero. It had real story arc to it. Even now, when you look at some of the movies that are made, like I swear sometimes I'm like, well, okay, I look at the comic book and I look at how they did animation back then, and it's like some of the things they're implementing into here so it can familiarize people and get people going and get them intrigued. And like, why not actually give or use something that is actually really cool to actually look at the same time, has a serious undertone, but then has some life lessons with it. But like I said, y'all, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't know what more we can do, um, because I mean, your voice is heard regardless, like all across the internet. People know there's no excuse for Young Justice being going off the air. There's no excuse for the Green Lantern going off the air completely. Like, if anything, they could have just put it on a different block and not got rid of it. Even if they decided to keep these new series that they're gonna try, why get rid of everything that you know that you can potentially gain? And I just don't know. You know? Like, every time I think about where the Justice League, and I don't want to be a bum record and go back where I was with the other video, but it's just ridiculous to me. It doesn't make any sense that we get something good, get something tangible, get something that has the potential of moving on. And even when you think about Young Justice, like they even had other sub characters they can add on. What was it? There was another show that came on a while back, back when the WB was actually something, which they're not anymore. Which Cartoon Network's doing exactly what WB doing now. I mean, it's at this point, it's not gonna be any more cartoons like worthwhile on TV. It's gonna go straight to DVD or Netflix or. But I think it was, I can't remember the name of it. Um, but it was one of the animated versions of Spider-Man, and it was on MTV for a little while. It only went through the first season. Um, it was like when I thought about it, I was like, this CG is so cool. It's really serious and it's different. I was like, well, why can't it continue? It didn't make any sense. And then I found out that the way they actually designed the show was off of the marketing of the actual movies. And now that I realize it's the same thing with uh, what they're doing with Marvel with their actual other shows, which is, of course, you got the Amazing Spider-Man, you got a brand new Hulk series that's going to be an actual cartoon, and you also got a brand new um, Earth Mightiest Adventures, which is now going to be called Avengers Assemble, which didn't make sense because they could have just continued it. But what they do is they feed off of what the market is doing. So the movie industry, based on the way their movies are, it's going to attribute the way the animations are going to be made. And so, but it's like when I think about DC, it's like a reverse effect. Like from their standpoint, you got the Man of Steel, you got the Dark Knight Rises that just came out a year ago. Even when you think about the Green Lantern, I mean, I think that's part of a big reason why that came out. It's like they don't have any movies to go off of, and so it's like they're kind of giving up and just moving straight to DVD versus taking advantage of the actual like broadcast network. Like, I mean, in my opinion, at this point, if they need to actually go to a different like route, I wish that DC could move away from Cartoon Network because at this point they're not going to be able to thrive. I mean, I don't know what other network they could actually choose from or go with. I mean, they can't go with Disney at this point, um, but they need to do something because else the whole fan base of anything televised, as far as maintaining like a TV series, I mean, I won't want to be invested. Now, granted, I'm gonna be older. I can think my kids maybe what 5 years from now, and they start wanting to look at TV shows, and they get in the kick of buying the box sets and stuff like that, and they make money off of the box sets and just bringing them out again and starting a new show, versus having something that actually can stand the test of time, which we all know was one of the better series just because it maintained its consistency. And then even with all the animated series now, it kind of falls along with that. Animated, Batman, Superman, and the Justice League. It was like seriously a set foundation. They made it so well that it continued the gap in different directions. But now it's so spread out between all the different ones now that they don't have anything to maintain themselves. And they never had a real, well, they did have the WB, like I said, but when that fell through, they were left at the hands of Cartoon Network. And I mean, I think that the only show that I know that had an advantage with that was Family Guy, which they got brought back on the air because of Adult Swim, and because of Adult Swim, which is with Cartoon Network, now they're back on air full time. Now, what they did was they continued to play like a whole bunch of different episodes of Family Guy until eventually people were like, okay, I want some new ones. That's why I was thinking, okay, use Toonami, put it on there, see if people are intrigued by it, see what it does, go with the market. But I'm just hoping, y'all. I really do, really want for something good to come from it, but it doesn't look really good right now. But I really intrigue everybody for y'all to continue to use the petition. I'm sending you a link now that um, Amy put up. She was one of the ones with the change.com link that I gave y'all. She's saying that go ahead and try as best you can. If you really are avid fans of the show and really want to try to do everything you can to shake everything up, definitely try to go to this link and send off what you can as far as with the merchandise and information. And then the form will bring you to all these different links that you can actually go through the process of collecting the merchandise, writing the letters, whatever you need to do. But definitely, I'm going to try to do my part as well. And don't give up, everybody. They'll learn. I mean, they'll find out the hard way. If this next 2 years come through, and for some strange reason, Teen Titans Go, Batman, Beware the Batman, and freaking Powerpuff Girls thrives, and their market shares go up instead of going down, then I don't even know what to say about the the universe at that point. But no, on the real, they're gonna find out for themselves, and the numbers are gonna speak for themselves, and they're gonna have to do something to shake themselves out of it if they the one messed it up. Um, I even thought about another series, which this is actually a television station for y'all that have DirecTV or just network. G4 is non-existent now because they wanted to go more with the demographic of more, I guess, multicultural, metrosexual uh, vibe versus just straight video games. But if any of y'all know anything about G4 the past 3 years, it fell off, honestly, because they stopped caring too much about the actual games, and they actually started doing more reality TV based things. On the weekends, all they had was cops on a regular basis. All they had was actually just the same thing. It was like sometimes it might be a movie, sometimes it'd be cops, sometimes it'd be Ninja Warrior, which had no relevance whatsoever. It was cool, it was funny, but they really didn't keep at the meat of what they needed to do. And so now, of course, that's disbanded. There's no X Play. There's no Attack of the Show. Um, it's just everything kind of, in my opinion, just kind of falling apart. um, but I mean, it's the same concept of what's actually going on with DC as far as with the television market. Um, but like I said, I really do think that if we actually push for this, they're definitely gonna make some DVD release, like Young Justice and Green Lantern. They're gonna continue that trend, just because. Um, but it would save them so much more money to actually go and just continue on and keeping the trend and keeping uh, a season after a season instead of 3 seasons and they just stop for no good reason. Um, but we'll see, y'all. Keep your heads up. I just want to give y'all an update about what I thought about Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls and just all this craziness. But keep your heads up, and hopefully it's all work out. But do your part. Check out the link below, and I'm going to be making a couple of reviews on some movies. Silver Lining, Playbook, I think is going to be one, and then another one is going to be Dead Man Down. I doubt I do Oz anytime soon, it was a good movie. I'm gonna be really busy, but those I can actually do really quick and straight to the go. But yeah, definitely DC fans, get ready. Superman's coming, and there's gonna probably be a brand new movie trailer for it very soon as well. Um, can't remember if it might be with G.I. Joe or not, but there's gonna be a new movie trailer sometime very soon. But yeah, I'm intrigued. Everybody, signing off, going to sleep. Take care.